Hello! In this video I'm going to talk to you about how to find the number of protons, neutrons, electrons found in any given atom. So here are the practice sheets that we are going to be working on. Here it gives us the particular element or ion is tin. As for the atomic number, melting point, density, number of protons, electrons, neutrons, and the mass number. Alright, so first of all, if I have the element, I can determine the atomic number. And if I know the atomic number, I can identify the number of protons, because the number of protons and the atomic number are the same number. Alright, so going to my periodic table, this ptable.com works really well. I'm looking for tin, SN, it's right here, it's number 50. That's my atomic number. So I would write atomic number is 50. And my number of protons is also 50. They give me the number of neutrons. Remember, mass number is the sum of the neutrons plus protons. So if I take 69 plus 50, and if we can't do mental math, we can do calculator. 59 plus 60 is 119. 69 plus 50, same thing, 119. Alright, then the number of electrons is always going to be the same as the number of protons. They always balance each other out, unless of course I have an ion where it's negatively or positively charged, then my number of electrons would be different. But in this case, there's no charge. So my number of protons is going to be the same as my number of electrons, which is 50. Density and melting point. Alright, so going here, we've got properties, and there's melting point. We're doing tin, so I click on tin. Looks like melting point is 505 Kelvin, and the density is 7310 kilometers per meter squared. So then you would plug those in to their respective locations. Alright, let's do another problem, such as, let's do a different one. Why don't we do this one? Atomic number 80. Well, the atomic number is the number of protons. So it'd be 80. And let's see, the number of neutrons is 120. And the number of protons is 80, so my mass number is 120 plus 80, which is 200. Alright. So then, if my atomic number is 80, I can look at the periodic table and try, okay, right there, mercury is 80 right there. So Hg is my element, or mercury. And it doesn't, well, this problem is a little bit hard. I'm making an assumption right here. It doesn't tell me anywhere that I have a positive or negatively charged atom. So I'm going to assume that it's just neutral charge. So if it doesn't tell you, just assume it's neutral. In that case, if you have 80 protons, you'd also have 80 electrons. So it's not necessarily the best question. They should have given me the number of electrons or told me a charge, so that I could actually answer it without making it an assumption. Alright, moving on, I want to state what the atomic number is. So for carbon, for example, I would just look at the periodic table. Where is carbon? There it is, and there's a 6. So the atomic number for carbon would be 6. And you do that for the other elements also. For here, how many protons are in the following atoms? Alright, so again, this is the same question essentially. It's looking for the atomic number. So for lead, we'd go for Pb, it's number 82. So it has an atomic number of 82, therefore it has 82 protons. Alright, moving on. Let's try number 9. It says consider an element where Z equals 76 and whose mass number is 190. And typically Z is representing the atomic number or the number of protons. And how many neutrons are in its nucleus? So we're looking for neutrons. We have the number of protons, 76, and we have the total sum of neutrons and protons, mass number of 190. So for this, what I would do is take 190, this is the sum of the protons and neutrons, equals 76 plus x, in which I would subtract 76 from both sides. So let's do that. We got 190 minus 76 is 114. So 114 would be the number of neutrons that we have. Neutrons. Alright, moving on to let's get to number 11. How many electrons are in each of these neutral atoms? So its key word is neutral. So we got to look at calcium, and we got to figure out how many protons are there. The atomic number of calcium is 20, so it's 20 protons. Therefore, it would have 20 electrons in a neutral atom. So it's basically the same thing as looking for the number of protons. Alright, here we go. Here's the last part. These are the fun ones. We got to figure out protons, neutrons, and electrons. And the nomenclature is written like this, where we got mass number on top and the atomic number of protons on the bottom, and the element symbol to the right. So the number of protons, that's fairly simple. It's the atomic number, 26. The number of electrons should be the same in a neutral atom, and we can assume that the atoms will be neutral unless they have, like over here, a plus or a minus charge, in which case the number of electrons will be different than the number of protons. So then we got to find neutrons. Mass number is protons plus neutrons. So I'm going to do 56, it's the mass number, equals 26 protons plus x. And x is my number of neutrons. And again, from here I just subtract 26 from both sides. That's 26, 36, 46, 56. It looks like 30 is my number of neutrons. Let's do something a little bit tricky, a little bit trickier. We got nickel 2 plus. First of all, number of protons, not too bad. It looks like that's a 28. So I got 28 right there. And the number of electrons, this is a little bit different. Since it's 2 plus, it means I have more protons than electrons. But I have 28 protons. So I got to do 2 less electrons, which is 26. If it was 2 minus, then I would have more electrons by 2 more, and it'd be 30. But since it's 2 plus, my protons are more, so it's 26 electrons. And again, neutrons. I got to do my mass number of 59 equals 28 plus x. So 28, 38, 48, 58, 9, that's 31 if you subtract 28 from both sides. Alright, let's do one last example and then call it a day. That looks like a 33 at the bottom. That's my atomic number, which is my number of protons. And I got a 3 minus for a charge. That means my electrons, I have 3 more electrons than I normally should have. So that's going to be 33 plus 3 is 36 electrons. And then my number of neutrons is going to be the mass number 75 equals 33 plus x. And again, I subtract 33 from both sides. Oh, that's tough math, so let's use a calculator. 75 minus 33 equals 42. Alright, 42 is the number of neutrons. Hope you enjoyed this. This is figuring out how many protons, neutrons, electrons are found within an atom.